everybody, I hope you're doing well today. Got the Dulcimer out and we're going to do a fun beginner song. But we're also going to embellish that song and add to that song, and I'm going to teach you how to do that, okay? The tabs are free down below. You just click that link and it'll pop up the tab page. You can print it off. It's just the simple melody notes to the song, okay? I'm going to play it like that for you, and then I'm going to play it slowly and with a count in so you can practice the song up and then play along with it. Then I want you to pause it and then come back after you're really familiar with the song, and we're going to add chords to it, okay? We're going to do some strumming and add some chords to this. We're going to do a little bit of open strumming. We're going to do a G chord, a D chord, and an A5 chord, okay? Those are chords that are really good for beginners. They're not difficult. They're right up here at the front, and they're a lot of fun to add to songs. And I'm going to teach you and show you how to look at the song you're playing, the melody notes, and add and try to find those chords, okay? Because it's really a lot of fun. It'll make your playing sound really nice. And don't minimize the song Bingo, okay? It's a nursery rhyme, but it's also a fun song to play, and it's a song you already know, okay? So you already know the tune in your head, and this is the optimal situation for you learning a new song at any level, okay? I always tell people this, half the time they don't listen. Go listen to the song a bunch. Know the tune, right? Be able to hum along with the tune, okay? Then get on here and start trying to play it. That's the way to do it, all right? So bingo, we already know that, most of us. And if you have small children or grandkids or something like that, nieces and nephews, you can play this for them and they'll really get into it and have fun, and you can do sing-alongs and stuff like that. So, all right, let's turn this camera and get into it. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to play this using all out plucks of our pick. All right? So I'm just going to play it through for you so you know what it sounds like, which you should probably already be familiar with it. One thing to note, if you're not already doing this, find an anchor point for your thumb. Be it resting on the top here, be it on your fretboard, be it on the edge of your dulcimer. It'll help you find where you need to go quickly, and it's movable as well, and it's just a good habit to get into. Also with this hand, when you're doing a lot of flat picking, it's good to have an anchor back here too. Obviously when you're strumming you're not going to have an anchor, and we're going to strum in this song too eventually, okay? So we start out with just the melody notes of the song. Here we go. Something that needs to be talked about here with fretting. When we are fretting a note and we're moving over and we're not intending to do a slide. Did you hear that little overtone I had? I'm not trying to do a slide there. So if you're not intending to do something and you have a sound that sounds like something, then you need to stop and address it. What I've done here is I've left the pressure down on that fret to go to that next note, when instead I need to do this. So what I did there was I just lifted the pressure. I kept my finger still on that string. I just lifted the pressure off to where I would lose the sound. See? Hear how it stops? So we want to pay attention to little things like this because we want to get our playing nice and clean, okay? If you don't want to do a slide, don't do a slide, okay? And it shouldn't sound like that unless you want it to. Now, There's also a pulse you can do. And that is another technique you can use when you want to, okay? But you don't want to do that all the time. And you can do it fast. But you heard that little tone there, okay? So that's just something to watch out for. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play it through slowly again. I'm going to count you in so you can play along. You've practiced this, you've looked at the tab, printed it off. Okay, here we go. I'm going to say 1, 2, ready, go. 1, okay, here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, that was good. You see here how I didn't have to move around too much. I've got that anchor. Okay, now, stop this, practice this, okay? Come back to this part, all right? Now we're going to add some chords to this, all right? It's going to be fun. And I want you to take these tips and add them to anything you play, all right? Try them out. You can add chords to these melody things that you find, and once you pick out your own melodies and things, you can add chords to see how they sound. All right? If you've got a note that is in a chord you know, try that chord to hear what it sounds like, okay? So, the notes the chords we're gonna add are a G, and that's 0, 1, 3. Now, to hold that chord, you can do it like this, or use any finger combination that's comfortable for you there, or you can do it like this. There's a lot of people who like to play like this, and there's, you know, whatever's fastest and easiest and most comfortable for you, okay? So you either want to do it like this, or this. Okay? Alright, so that's our G chord. And our G chord's also 3, 1, 0. Just a lower version. Okay, so that's one chord we're going to use. Another chord we're going to use is a D chord. So that's 0, 0, 2. Okay? Any chord that I say can be mirrored, but we're going to be using these higher chords here. Alright, so that's a real easy one. D. And we're also going to use an A5, and that's 101. Okay? Again, you don't want to do like this back here. That doesn't give you enough time to move around. We want to use our economy of motion. This leaves that thumb and index finger to do other things. Okay, so when I strum the chords in this, what I'm doing is I'm doing a single note on the melody, then I'm doing a strum out, and then when I come back, I'm hitting the bass string. So it sounds like this. There's chickens squawking, dogs barking. That's just part of life here. Practice that a little bit. Okay, so the first chord we're going to add is on the first line of your tab. Go all the way down to the last measure. We can add one at the next to last measure as well. We'll just go ahead and do that. And those last two measures are this. Okay, so let's add two chords there. All right. So we've got our 1 right here. Let's just add that 101. Then it goes to 2. and we're going to add that chord. So let me play the first line so you see what I'm talking about here. Okay, so for the 101, I just went like this because it's a quick 2 notes. I just did 2 out strums. Then I did my single note, out strum, back tick. You can do it on the open note as well after that. Let me play through it again using this chord, this chord. Okay, here we go. See how much nicer the song sounds when you can add a few strums here and there and some chords? Okay, let's move on to the second line. That whole second line, we've got 4 chords we're going to use. Wow, that's so much fun, okay? So the first measure and the last measure have the 2nd fret. We're going to use our D there for the first and the last measure of that line. The second measure has that 3rd fret. We're going to use our G chord there. And then the 3rd measure has that first fret note. We're going to use that A5 chord. And then we end out on our D chord. Now, you see three 3rd frets there. So it goes. So the time frame there, we've only got time to do 2 chords there. We could do something like that as well to fit that same time in there. But I want you to try these things out, see what'll fit in there, what you can do. But you want to make sure you're keeping true to the timing of the song. That's why we're using an easy kind of nursery rhyme song. Because you know, there was a farmer had a dog and Bingo was his name. Oh, B-I-N-G-O, B-I-N-G-O. Okay, you know the tune. So you know what the timing should be, all right? Let's move on to that last line. We start out with some open first strings. Those will work just fine. Then we go to the 1st fret. Let's do that A5. Then we go like this. All right, let me play that last line. Okay, now let me play through the whole song for you. And this may take you a little bit of time to figure out because you have to have your strumming right so that it fits within that timing of the song, okay? So let's hear it. But didn't that sound so much nicer than just the melody notes, okay? So what we want to do as beginners is we want to start with the melody notes, of course, but then we want to start adding things, okay? And we want to start turning these things into some chords here and there. Now, there are some people who will put a chord every single time they play, and they're playing through chords to play the song, and that's perfectly fine. My playing style, I prefer to play with some single notes that are emphasized, those melody notes, not all of them, but some of the melody notes are emphasized, and then some of the other melody notes are within chords. Okay. All right, I hope you enjoyed that and got something out of it. And before I go, I always want to remind you that Jesus loves you. Bye-bye, y'all.